Okay, we're going to tie a soft hackle pattern today using some partridge feathers and a different material for the body than a traditional soft hackle fly. We've got a Nymph size 10 wet fly hook in the vise. So let's get started. I'm just going to put on a layer of thread here just to keep all the materials from slipping later. This is a power silk thread, super strong, size 10. Pretty much unbreakable. You can use it on almost any size fly. You can apply a lot of pressure to really crank down on the materials, and it's nice and small, so won't have a lot of buildup. So we got a nice thread base layer there. We'll cut off that excess. So here's the material that I mentioned earlier. It's called micro straggle. It's a very, very fine chenille. Has a lot of sparkle to it. Gives us the ability to tie a lot smaller flies than we were used to with the regular chenille. So I'm going to move the thread back. Just tie that in behind the eye. This just makes it more secure and bulks up the body just slightly. Now you could certainly tie this, add some lead to the hook, or even tie this with a bead head, and that would be fine. Now simply all you have to do with this micro straggle is wrap it forward. Just butt each turn up against the previous one. Just create some nice flash, and yet it keeps the body nice and slender, kind of like a traditional soft hackle pattern. Comes in a whole bunch of colors. This is just a standard yellow color. I'm going to leave myself a pretty good gap there behind the eye. And we're just going to secure that with some thread wraps and cut off that excess material. Now we want to create a slight little bump right here, some dubbing, and that'll help to give the feather that we're going to tie in a little bit later some stability. So I'm just going to use a piece of dubbing brush. It's just an olive dubbing brush here we've got. This is basically has all the dubbing trapped between some thread. So it's just real fast, real easy to use. All I have to do is simply catch that exposed thread section of the brush, secure that down. Now I'll just take, maybe 3 or 4 wraps, kind of almost right on top of each other, just to create that little ball of dubbing. If you were just using regular dubbing, you could probably just spin that right onto your thread and create that same little ball. Just trim off that excess, real quick and easy. These dubbing brushes really save a lot of time. Now we're going to come in with our partridge feather. The way we're going to prepare that is we're going to strip away some of these webby fibers on the bottom that we don't need. And then we're going to hold this feather by the point, as much as we can here, and strip back all the other fibers. And that way we've created this nice little tie-in section. You can see that. So we're just going to lay that little space we've made right up there behind the eye. Trap that nice and easily, and then you can apply some more tension to lock it in. Then all we have to do is come in here and grip these little tip fibers and trim these away. Another good little trick here is to kind of stroke these fibers back. They have a natural curve, and we want these to curve back on the finished fly, so I just kind of pinch them and hold it there. Now what you can do too is some people strip off the fibers on one side of the feather. Just depends on how much you want. Doesn't really matter. I usually just leave both of them on. Just depends on how many you want. A nice little way to do this too is with some hackle pliers. Just hook those hackle pliers on the back side of that feather. And as you take that around, you want to keep it straight. You don't want to angle it back and forth, left or right. Just keep it nice and straight. And as that first wrap comes around, just kind of hold those fibers back. Slowly come around with that second layer, second wrap. keep those back. That's all we're going to need on here is just 2 times around, and just make some nice slow wraps of thread to lock that in place. Then just come in here with your scissors and carefully clip out that stem. Now another little trick you do is take the section off of a ballpoint pen and just push that on there, and it forces all the fibers back. Grab them with your other hand, and now you can make those nice thread wraps up against the feathers, which will flare them back and out. Now you can see what that little ball of dubbing that's hidden in here does. It keeps those fibers kind of extended up a little bit rather than straight back. Gives a little more lifelike movement in the water. Now you can just come in here with the whip finish tool and just build a nice little head to the fly. Tighten that up. Take off the thread. So again, we've created a nice kind of traditional soft hackle fly. Oh, there's one little crazy fiber here that I didn't see. Get rid of him real quick. But it adds a little bit more sparkle, a little more flash. Help maybe attract that one extra fish. So give this a try. Try some of this new material and see what you can create. Thank you.